Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the things that most fascinates me in the entire world, and that I don't think I've ever mentioned on this channel actually, and it was about time that I did: space. That's right guys, space. And I don't even know where to begin, because for one thing, space is huge. It's literally infinite. The universe goes on infinitely in all directions, and I think it's impossible to map out the whole thing and explore every inch of it. Like, I don't think that there have not been and will never be enough generations of the human race to explore and map out all of space, It's obviously more possible to map out our oceans than it is space itself, because space is infinite. The oceans, the planet is huge, and we have explored very few of the oceans, but I mean, come on, let's be honest. It is possible. There is a finite space in our oceans, but space is not the same thing, And this is something that has always fascinated me since I was a kid, and I loved studying about this when I was a child, besides dinosaurs, my very first dream when I was very, very young was to be a paleontologist because I love dinosaurs. But when I was like a teenager of sorts, I also really wanted to get into astronomy, but it's mostly because my biggest dream was to go into space, I wanted to set foot on the moon and explore different planets and things like that, So as you guys can imagine, I'm a very big fan of the Mass Effect games, I really like playing those. And I just think that it's really cool because, I mean, guys, come on, you gotta be honest with yourself. Who has never sat there in their rooms, just thinking about how big space is? What if there is life on other planets, And if there is, what are they like, And I actually saw recently I don't remember if I read it in an article or saw it in another YouTube video, but basically it is the concept that human beings and chimpanzees are separated by, I think it was 0.6% or something. No, 1.6%. I don't know. There's a very small percentage of gene sequence gap that separates us from chimpanzees, and that very small gap makes us so superiorly intelligent than chimpanzees, so much more superior to them. So imagine us to extraterrestrial life. What if we to those aliens are the same gap as we are to chimpanzees? Imagine how advanced that species would be. And these are the kind of things that I like to think about, I like to entertain the idea that there might actually be life on other planets, And I did a video some time ago talking about dreams. What if our dreams are actually another dimension? And this video will be a little similar, It's getting a bit into science and also philosophy, how exactly space works. Now, space is amazing. It is magnificent. It is beautiful, spectacular, and the most interesting thing I have ever, seen in my entire life. But here's the thing. It's also frightening. It's really, really, really scary. Two things that scare me the most in this entire world: space and the deep ocean, the bottom of the sea, where the pressure is so strong that it can crush you. It just makes you evaporate into thin air, that's how hard it would crush you. Space is the same thing. There's no vacuum in space. Well, sorry, there's no oxygen. The hell was that? There's no oxygen in space, so you can't breathe. So I get if I ever go into space and I'm there wearing my astronaut suit and that kind of thing, and I'm standing on the surface of the moon, if any small little thing, if anything goes wrong, I'm dead. I am terrified of this happening. What if I were to be thrown into space, without a spacesuit? How long would it take for you to die? It would be painful, of course. You would suffocate and also freeze, because there's no heat. But just imagine how much that would suck, And of course, I've seen movies that showed that happening. For example, Apollo 13, which is a found footage horror movie that happens on the moon, And it showed a dead cosmonaut who died exactly from that, and then the other guy dies from aliens, It's just this whole crazy thing. Now, despite it being so dangerous and so hostile and inhospitable practically, space still fascinates me a lot, And the thing that most fascinates me, I would probably say, is life on other planets, there's not exactly anything 100% scientifically concrete and confirmed that there is, but come on, guys. I mean, our galaxy is huge, We have our planets, our solar system, but there are so many other galaxies out there, And the universe is huge. It is infinite. So, how is it really that much of a stretch to say that there is life on other planets? Yes, we haven't exactly confirmed it, but how is it so impossible to say? Because I mean, I think it makes more sense for you to say that there is than that there isn't, It is impossible for us to be the only intelligent life on the planet, Maybe we're the only humans, we're the only species of our kind, but what if there's another planet populated entirely by gerbils, or plants, that's life. plants and trees do count as life, you know. Maybe there's a planet populated entirely by animals, you know. They found a planet some time ago that was made up entirely of diamonds, you know. I mean, come on. If there's a planet that is literally made of diamonds, there can definitely be a planet that is that has other wildlife thriving, you know. I also like to think about the concept of alternate dimensions, you know, multiverses, you know, that there might be alternate universes out there where there might be a doppelganger of yourself, but he or she is completely different, you know. Like me in this life right here, I'm a YouTuber, you know, but in this other alternate universe, I could be a lawyer, you know, or in another universe, I could be a woman, you know, or I could be an athlete, you know, I could even be a chimpanzee, you know. It's really cool to think, like, and also how we can access these worlds. That is what drives me crazy sometimes, you know, because how is it even possible to harness that kind of energy, you know, because time travel is a thing that scientists like to play around with a lot, you know, but it's still not very possible. I don't think it's possible yet, you know, but what if it's also possible to travel to different multiverses, you know? So I think that entertaining this idea in my mind is really cool, you know, and I'm pretty sure that some of you think the same way, you know. It's a very interesting thing to think about. And our planet, like, seems to be the center of it all, you know, because we as human beings think that Earth is the center of the universe, you know, but it's not. It just is to us. What if in another planet somewhere else, the intelligent life on that planet thinks that their planet is also the center of the universe, you know? We as humans are the dominant species of this planet. I don't know why, because we kind of suck in general, you know, but what if in another planet, I don't know, what about monkeys? You know, you ever see Planet of the Apes? What if that actually exists? What if there is a planet where, you know, apes, you know, primates are the primary species and humans are the ones that are in zoos, you know, being displayed to, you know, what if we're the feral beings of that planet, you know? I think it's very, very possible, you know, and actually pretty probable too, you know, because we're definitely not alone in the universe, guys. But anyway, going back to space itself, something that also really interests me a lot, but obviously terrifies me, is black holes. You know, the concept of black holes, which I talked about a long time ago reviewing the Interstellar movie, and one of my favorite movies of all time. And black holes, it's basically like, the concept of a black hole is really intriguing because it's something that not even light can escape from, you know. It starts off really small, and as it sucks in more matter, it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually becoming a supermassive black hole. There is a theory that there is a supermassive black hole in the center of our galaxy, and that's what makes it spin. That's what makes everything rotate, you know, with the gravitational pull, you know. And let's hope that it always stays this way, because if this, I mean, being a supermassive black hole, I mean, it obviously gets bigger and bigger, right? And eventually it might even get so big that it will swallow the entire solar system, you know? If that happens, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna feel it. It's gonna be like, it's gonna suck us up in like a split second. But the thing with black holes is that not even light can escape it, guys. Like, if you were to go near a black hole and turn on a flashlight, I think that the black hole would suck out the light from the flashlight, you know? It's really awesome. It's like the Deluminator from Harry Potter, where you go and it sucks out the lights, you know? It must be something really cool, but of course, going near a black hole would be instantaneous death, you know? If you were to observe a black hole from a telescope here on Earth, and you saw something going towards it, eventually it would hit what is called the event horizon, right? And from that point on, it would be sucked into the black hole, but you wouldn't see it happening. There would be a spaghetti effect, but you wouldn't see it. You would see the object just like freeze and stop in front of the black hole, you know? And then eventually it would just disappear, you know? You wouldn't actually see the spaghetti event happening, which is horrifying. Another thing that I find really cool is quasars, you know, which is basically like supernovas, but even bigger. A supernova, you guys should know, is when a star explodes, you know, it becomes a supernova. And if you can observe that with the naked eye, would definitely be amazing and beautiful. You know, a star dies, but it's such a beautiful process that it's hard to feel sad, you know, it's bittersweet. And then a quasar is pretty much exactly that, you know, it's something that is exploding so many light years away, you know, and obviously it's very dangerous, you know, and I don't know too much about quasars, but I think that they could very well represent a danger to you, you know, if you get too close. You know, they say that the sun, for example, if you get too close to the sun, any sun, obviously you're gonna die, because it's going to literally melt you. The sun is really hot. Just looking at the sun from Earth for too long can hurt your eyes, you know. So if you fly too near the sun, you know, you're dead. You're as good as dead, you know. And a quasar could be just as dangerous, you know, just like the massive explosion of it, you know, what is going on. There's so much energy and so much brightness and matter that you could definitely, you know, it could definitely deal some damage to you. But I still think it's fascinating. The quasars are so big that from far away they're already big. So imagine getting closer, you know. And dark matter is something that also fascinates me a lot too, although I don't know too much about that. I can't really get into it, you know, but you guys can just research that later for yourself. But anyway, regarding space in general, it would be amazing to go into space, you know, like an actual chartered flight and on a space shuttle. But there are some things that could go wrong. Like for example, in 85, I think it was 1985, 84, around the mid 1980s there was the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. You know, I actually think it was in 86. If I get it wrong, I'm gonna fix it here in post, but I'm pretty sure it was in 86, you know. And now, of course, that because of a series of problems that were overlooked by who was in charge, you know, it eventually ended up exploding still in our atmosphere, you know. You could still see it from in the sky blowing up, you know. So it does scare me, because when we're talking about space travel and space flight, you have to really get everything perfectly calculated down to the dot, guys, because any little thing that goes wrong and you're dead in the blink of an eye, you know. So it does scare me, but I can imagine how amazing it is, because in 1969 man set foot on the moon, you know. Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. I believe he did. If you're one of those crazy conspiracy theorists who think it was all a hoax, I don't care. I think he actually did land there. So imagine how it must be to go there and go on the surface of the moon and feel the gravitational pull of its surface, you know, and just move around slowly, you know. And it's really cool how this kind of thing works, you know. And I think it would be really nice to just go into space, even if you don't touch down on a planet, just to go there, you know, and see. Sometimes at night, when I live in the interior of Sao Paulo, so it's a very non-polluted area, so you can actually see a lot of the sky at night, you know. It's really cool. And I look up at the stars and see, like, and think, like, imagine if I could go there. Imagine if I was there, like actually there in space, looking down on the planet, you know, above everything. It would just be amazing. And I actually recently saw Mars from Earth. I don't know if you guys managed to catch that, but Mars was actually able to be seen from Earth with the naked eye. I saw it here from my window, right behind the moon. It was so cool. Obviously so far away, a little red dot, way too far away, but still, I saw Mars with the naked eye, man. You know, to somebody like me who loves astronomy and space, you know, to me that was a really big deal. I really, really want to buy a telescope so I can look at things a little better, you know. I think that would be really cool, you know, just point it up at the sky at night and try to see the moon. The moon has been very close to Earth, you know, recently, you know, like almost every night I can look up and see it shining bright, really, really big, you know. That's really cool. It seems so close, but it's so far away, you know, millions of light years. Actually, I think that the moon is actually 430,000 kilometers or so from here, so not too far away compared to other things, you know. But you know. You know, when I play a video game that involves going into space, like for example Star Wars, you know, Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I have begun playing, you know, it's I think it's really, really cool because it simulates so perfectly the experience, you know. And of course the Mass Effect games were my favorites, you know. I still haven't played No Man's Sky, which people say is really cool. You can pretty much free explore space, you know, go to a different planets and different solar systems, you know. And in general, guys, in a nutshell, I do honestly think that there is life on other planets. I might do a separate video about this later down the road, you know. I'm sorry, guys, I'm running out of ideas for videos, so whenever something comes to mind, I have to try to make it into a separate video, you know. I can't put too much stuff in just one. But I wanted to tell you guys how much I love space, you know, how much I love this kind of thing. And there's actually a really cool documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it still is because it was a limited series talking about the Challenger disaster, you know. But if you can ever watch anything involving space, I think it's really cool, you know. I like studying about this, you know. I read up on this just for fun, you know, and it's really cool to finally record a YouTube video talking about it, you know. And I think that's it, really. You know, space is amazing. You know, it's really cool, you know, touching down on different planets. And the movie Interstellar really plays on this idea. They land on a planet where, like, I think 1 hour on this planet corresponds to 7 years on Earth, which is crazy. Like, my brain can't comprehend that, you know. My mind, it's like the concept of light years, where you travel from here to the moon, but it takes you so long that, you know, like, by the time you come back, you know, you aged a few years or something, you know. I don't think it was exactly the moon. I think it was actually Pluto. Back when Pluto was still a planet, right? I think it still is, but they don't consider it anymore. By the time that you go to Pluto and come back to Earth, you, like, if you go as a kid, you can come back as an adult, you know. That's like how far away it is. It's crazy. And like, going to space would be cool, but I don't think I could do what professional astronauts do and just like stay up there for weeks and months or even years, you know. That would just be crazy, you know. But they are coming up with the idea to build a base on the moon or Mars or something, so yeah, like, maybe we can eventually have little civilizations there, you know, to actually stay there and study or explore. But I think that's it, guys. I think that's all I wanted to do. I'm gonna try to keep this video under 20 minutes because I don't want it to get too long, you know, and make like a part 2 or part 3 of sorts later, talking about different things within this same topic, you know. But I think that's it. Space is fascinating, it is amazing, and I love it so much, and I hope to go there one day, even though I know that in my current position it is very, very improbable. But who knows, maybe I'll go up there and live stream for you guys. That might be cool. But anyway, I think that's it. That's all I can say for now, you know, and I'll try to make a talk. I got distracted because my neighbor is doing yoga on her porch or whatever. But anyway, I think that's it for now. That's it. Oh yeah. This is Chazzy signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. And Godspeed to you all. I actually smacked my glasses there. Almost went into my eye, the damn thing. Freaking, ugh.